Welcome everybody to this special call meeting for the Plainview Independent School District. We do have a quorum. Ms. Salazar will not be with us this evening. And would you pray with me? Father God, we thank you for the blessings and we thank you for life. We thank you for this district, for this community. And we just ask that you may be able to help this board as we continue moving forward, making the right decisions for the betterment of our district. We thank you for our students, our staff. As the new year has started, Lord, we just ask that for your guidance and help throughout the rest of this year. We ask all this in your wonderful name. Amen.
Amen. Would you stand with me for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
At this time, we are going to, the board's going to go into a closed session under the Texas Government Code of 551.001 on deliberation of an appointment, employment, comprehension, evaluation, assignment, duties, discipline, and dismissal. So the time is 6:03. We'll be back. closed session. At this time, do we have any citizen comments?
Yes, sir, we have one.
We do have one. You will have 3 minutes to address the board, and it is Mona
Vera.
Farah. I thought that was it, but that's.
Hello, again. Thank you, board, for allowing me to speak. We have concerns, I guess, the wrestling program. We're grateful that y'all did recently hire a candidate, and that's awesome. We're wonderful. That means we are moving in the right direction. I do have some concerns on the hiring process that y'all have, but that's another subject. But my other question is, wrestling, any sport, is dangerous. And if you have somebody that is not experienced coaching wrestling, I would think that we need somebody in there. You had other candidates that were capable, several candidates that were capable, that had their degree and that were certified to teach wrestling and to teach. I don't understand why you went with this other candidate. But that's your opinion. I mean, I just don't understand that. I mean, we're here for the best of our children. We're here for all our kids. And I would think the safety and the concerns of our children, that would be one of your priorities. To me, you bring somebody that doesn't know wrestling at all. It's never wrestled. And it's just like putting a golf player that's going to go coach football. It's 2 different sports, but it is. I just feel, Sanchez, that you sabotage. It seems like the attempt to sabotage the wrestling program. That's how I feel. I know the I know that you might be leaving pretty soon, because I know that your son, and I'm grateful, that's good that your son is going on to experience his thing, and that's wonderful. But what about the kids here? You and your family may be leaving, but what about the kids here? You're sabotaging for scholarships for kids here around our area. We're from Plainview. We love our area. We're from here. You pack up and leave. We stay here. We represent Plainview. And so that is just one of my concerns. And I'm frustrated because I truly believe that you had capable candidates to employ from, and you got somebody that has no experience and that could hurt our children, and not to mention other issues that he has. So that's all I have to say for today.
Point of privilege, Mr. President. We did have various candidates who did apply and were considered, and those candidates withdrew their names for consideration as they further explored the context. And so we had one candidate who did not. And I will be happy to ask Ms. Merrick to share further information in executive session as it falls under employment.
Okay. Thank you. I believe that's all of our citizen comments. We will move on to our public hearing for any discussion or public input on the budget or tax rate. Do we have anybody that
No, ma'am, we don't.
wanted to speak on that? Okay. So we'll move on to our first business item, which is consideration approval of the 25-26 budget.
Board, you have a copy of the budget, and so we're moving for the budget approval as a first item. As you can see, we will recommend the interest in sinking and the maintenance and operation tax rates, which will be a lower tax rate this year than the previous year. But however, in the onset, we would like to recommend the budget for the board's approval and consideration. We have factored in, the difference between last year's graduating class, which was 100 students larger than this year's incoming freshman class. And so we did make an adjustment on the enrollment at the high school because it is right about 100 students less this year than last year, with a difference in the outgoing senior class and the smaller freshman class. However, we do see more at the pre-kindergarten level, but that doesn't affect the overall budget is. So as you can see, we have the budget pulled up on the screen, and it's the same copy that you reviewed during the budget workshop at the previous meeting on the 14th of August. And so, Ms. Chapa or I would be happy to entertain any questions the board may have on the budget.
Board, any questions, comments? You also got a copy in your packet here, so.
So I'll make a recommendation for the board's consideration and approval of the 25-26 budget.
This time, do I hear a motion for item number 1?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. I got a motion by Ms. De La Garza. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second, Mr. Salazar. All in favor, raise your hand. 6-0 vote. Thank you.
Okay, item number 2 is consideration and approval to adopt the 25-26 tax rate and interest and sinking.
As you can see, the tax rate is 5 cents lower this year than it was last year. That'll be the recommendation, and Ms. Chapa can speak to the particulars of the maintenance and operation and the interest and sinking fund, as well as some good news on the interest and sinking fund on paying off the short put part of the construction bond.
Yes, the purpose of the maintenance and operation and the interest in sinking is the maintenance and operation tax rate is used for the purpose of paying for the general operating of the school district. And the interest in sinking is to pay for the debt that we have at the moment. So we're hoping that with the 0.50, we'll project maybe within the next 8 years that we'll be able to pay off that soft put bond, and we'll have the remaining the 49 million that we'll continue to pay every year. But we'll have paid a debt of 15 million overall within a short period of time, within the 10 years.
Yes. And that's the important part, is paying it within the 10 years, because whatever remains of the principal balance is refinanced at the current market rate at that point in time, and you never know what that market rate's going to be. We receive very favorable interest rates when we finance the bond because interest rates were at historic lows. And so it's important to pay off the short put part of the bond before the interest rate resets, and then we're looking at current market interest rates, which are higher. There is some talk that the Fed may drop them, but they're not going to be back at the rate that we were able to get the initial interest rate. So it's important to be able to put money aside to pay off the bond within that period. So that way we move on to paying the long-term bond. So with that, we'll make a recommendation for the board's consideration and approval of a tax rate that is 5 cents lower than last year's. The maintenance and operations side is 77,050 per $100 valuation. And the interest in sinking is 0.50 for a total tax rate of 1.2750 per $100 valuation.
Board, any questions, comments?
So, what's the interest rate, or when does the interest rate reset? Or when does it come new?
It'll be possibly, I believe, in a couple of years. So I think after next year, I think one more time, I think we can reset.
Okay, all right. So the plan is to pay it off in the 8 years?
So we have every 3 years, we have an opportunity to reset that soft put.
Mhm.
So we try to put down any fund balance that we have at that point, and then they refinance it at a certain rate, whatever
Gotcha.
rate they offer us at that time. And then we'll be able to reset in another 3 years. And
Okay.
hopefully that within the 6 years, we'll be able to pay off this debt of 15 million.
Okay.
More questions, board? Okay, at this time I'll entertain a motion for item number 2.
I so move we approve to adopt the 25-26 tax rate and interest and sinking.
Get a motion by Ms. Rivera. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by De La Garza. All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you.
Okay, business item number 3, consideration and approval of the final budget amendment 24-25.
Board, you have the final budget amendment. The final budget amendment is to ensure that as we close out the year, we cover all costs for the year and that we close out the books so that way the auditors can begin doing their work. So this is a final budget amendment to cover all lines and to balance out all lines in the 24-25 budget. So with that, we'll recommend your consideration and approval of the final budget amendment for the 24-25 budget.
All right. Any questions, board? Basically, part 2 of what we just talked about. If not, at this time, entertain motion for item number 3.
I'll make a motion that we approve the final budget amendment 24-25 school year.
A motion by Mr. Salazar, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Ray, all in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you.
Item number 4 is consideration to approve contracts over 50,000.
As you can see by Board Policy CH Local, we have a list of contracts and projects completed and paid between September 1, 2024 and August 2025. The awards were made through the interlocal contracted pricing, as well as advertised awarded competitive bids, proposals, or competitive price quotes for commoditized purchases. Others such as utilities and fuels are exempt from this procurement process. And so what you have is the vendor descriptions of services by products, estimate contract amounts and funding sources, as well as descriptions that include previous board approval. And so it's anticipated that these vendors may also exceed 50,000 during the 25-26 school year, since we have a history of using these vendors. And so we're asking the board for approval so that we can continue to use these vendors. And many of these vendors are quite familiar to you, such as like Chilton or 3D Plumbing. They're the ones that provide services, as well as some of the roofing companies that come in whenever we have windstorms that take the roofs off the buildings or whatnot. And so instead of coming and calling an emergency board meeting to try to get the vendors approved to be able to go in and fix things, these are just vendors that we know historically we have used that hit that amount. And as with all reports to the board, anytime we use any of these vendors and they and we expend funds, we do include that in the board report, in the financial board report for your review at each board meeting. So with that, I'll just make a recommendation for consideration and approval of contracts over 50,000. And Becca's here to answer any questions you may have on any of those.
Board, any questions, comments? Hearing none, let's move on forward. Entertain a motion for item number 4.
I move we approve contracts over 50,000.
Got a motion by Ms. Bass, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second, Mr. Rivera. Salazar, sorry, all in favor, raise your hand. Okay, motion 6-0, thank you.
And just to give the board an idea of some of the projects that we'll be looking at, the roofing project at Ash High School. Mr. Wallace has been waiting for that for a long time. And a roofing project at the auditorium at PHS where we have had some wind damage. And so we need to repair that. And then we're looking at the blacktop at Early Learning Center to seal that so that we can have a additional play area for students. And then we'll talk to the art teachers about going out and putting different types of games that the students can play on the blacktop. Some of the other things that we're looking at is a water line at the field house, the white field house, the old white field house. So we have a list of projects that we can now begin taking quotes on and or competitive pricing if that's what we need. Of course, we defer to Beck on the process to be sure that we are following the law. But those are on the list of things that need to be repaired. And I think the latest and greatest were the sump pumps at the baseball field got hit by lightning. So we're going to have to get those replaced. So that's, I mean, lightning of all the things to hit anyway. So, again, we have a list of items. I met with Mr. Voiles and Mr. Marin to begin working on that, and they've been working with Ms. Chopin, and she just, every time she sees them coming, she wants to run them off, and so I understand. All right, so I just wanted to give you an update that we can get the ball rolling on many of those things now.
Number 5.
We'll move on to item number 5, campus improvement plans. I know they're excited about this.
Everyone's excited about this, and somebody who's just dying to present to the board first tonight is Mr. Kevin Parker. He has his master plan ready to dazzle and amaze all, so I will turn it over to him to present first.
Good evening, board. How are we? Good. So at the junior high, we have 8 campus goals this year. I'm going to lump 4 of them together because they're tied to student achievement on our STAR tests. As you know, we take 7th and 8th grade reading, 7th and 8th grade math, as well as social studies and science. So this year, we are looking to improve on the meets level of our STAR in all of those areas by 3%. And the way we're hoping to do that is continue to have the protected PLC time for teachers, which they all have, our core areas have built in the master schedule. A big push this year is reviewing lesson plans on a weekly basis to ensure that they are where they need to be. And then as well as continuing with data digs with the admin as well as the curriculum team to make any adjustments that we may need to see or may need to do after the test or assessments. Campus attendance, we're hoping to move from 93% to 95%. I know our attendance is down and we're really trying to push. We contacted a bunch of no-shows at the beginning of the year. We're able to get a few back. Unfortunately, some of them did leave. But we're really looking to incentivize those students on a 3-week basis, implementing a fun Friday during intervention that's tied to attendance as well as discipline. So we're hoping to get those kids to really, really show up to school and do what we need them to do there. Parental involvement, I talked about this one last year. It's really, I would say, a low point for us. And it's really a focus area that we're trying to push this year. We're bringing back, I don't know if Ms. Long did it when she was there, but Pops Luncheons. Talked about it at our Title I meeting last week, which I will say we had a great turnout. I'm hoping with the kids coming from intermediate over. So we'll continue to have it with parents, but they seem very excited to have Pops Luncheons, which will be starting September 12th. We'll do them once a month. They were encouraging parents to come eat with their kids. Don't just drop off the lunch, come in and eat with them and kind of talk to all their friends and all that good stuff to kind of get a community built there. School climate and safety. We'll continue with doing our surveys. We did surveys last year, beginning, middle, and end, to see not only by students. We got a really good feedback from students, just seeing how they felt safety-wise. If they felt like there wasn't enough people in certain areas, they didn't feel safe in certain areas, we'll make adjustments to put people there. We got good feedback with that, so we'll continue that. And then technology, our last one. About 3 minutes up. Y'all counting back there? Technology, as you know, you saw the damages and the fines, or not fines, but how much that cost us for Chromebooks. So we have, last year they all had 1-to-1 that they took home with them. We've now pushed that back into the classroom, so each classroom has their own set. And we're hoping to reduce the overall damages. We'll do 3-week checks on those and really be intentional of reporting as soon as something happens so that we can try to keep those numbers down and keep Chromebooks in good shape. I know Wayne would really appreciate it, right?
Yeah.
But in a nutshell, that's it. You guys have any questions for the junior high?
So they're able to take their Chromebooks home?
They do not. No, we don't issue them, but if they need to, we will let them check one out from the library for a week or however long they
Okay.
need if they're going to be out.
All right,
But no, they leave them in the classroom.
okay.
Each teacher has a Chromebook card.
And we did run the experiment to give the kids the Chromebooks to take home and that opportunity to be responsible, and many of them were, but the cost associated with those who weren't was quite shocking. And so at this point, it makes sense that we'll hold on to them on the campus, and if they need them, there'll be an avenue for them to check them out. But it's going to be a better plan this way.
I'm excited to see what the pop lunch would be.
Right,
know,
we
the
encourage you
turnout
guys
for
to
that.
come. If you guys September 12th, we'd
Yeah.
love to have you.
So, so many times, they don't get involved, so this will give them an avenue to really get involved with that. So,
And we did, at our Title I meeting, we had a lot of good feedback. We had them filling out QR codes of wanting to volunteer for things. And we had a lot of parents willing to do that. We did throw out dances this year. And I hope I don't have to get that board approved, but I'm scared of that. So we'll see if that actually comes to fruition.
Cheerleaders are next.
Don't get me started on that. We are looking for a board sponsor for cheerleaders, so. Danny,
Joanne?
do that. Anything
I
else?
was gonna say baby.
I'll put a little pressure on Mr. Parker here. He's in a heated competition with another principal in this room that I won't mention, but he has already put the first instructional flag in the ground for his big class calendar where he's mapped out the year. And he has his milestones of excellence. And so we're looking forward to what the other campuses can bring to the table, because it is quite impressive to be that focused this early on. So it's
Thank
done
you.
well.
Without further ado, I'll turn it over to the A campus, Sarah Williams.
So, as we look at our campus improvement plan, one of the things that drives our campus improvement plan is a staff survey that we send out at the end of the year. And that's where we gather a lot of data for things like safety, culture, systems in place. And so we use that to drive, as well as our academic data. Our goal this year was to simplify our campus improvement plan and really focus on what we know is proven to work and improve our campus. So I've kind of pared it down and really focused on raising academic achievement, engaging families, supporting well-being, and strengthening our campus system. So in terms of academics, we looked at math and reading, which are the only STAR assessments that our campus has. In terms of math, we had worked with Amy a little bit about how much higher we need to increase to kind of hit a couple different thresholds. And so in math, we're looking to improve approaches, meets, and masters by 5% each, which will push us into the next threshold on some different targets. In reading, a good I don't want to say problem, but a situation that we're in is our approaches was really high in reading, to the point that it's going to be difficult to improve approaches level in reading because of how well our teachers and students performed. So with that said, we're really targeting meets and masters in reading and pushing kids to the next level, because we feel that we can do that more readily than we can push that approaches level. So I don't want to say it's a problem, but it's a different hurdle that we haven't had before. So it's good. Parent engagement, previously we've always had reading night, math night, science night, and we love those and we want to have those, but we're moving towards making more authentic parent engagement activities. So we're looking at some orientations for parents for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade, especially 4th grade, because that's we go from 9 years old to 10 years old, which Mr. Wallace is well aware what happens when you hit 10, your consequence changes. And so a lot of parents need to know that some of these things that you do when you're 9, as soon as you turn 10, that consequence is different, which means your consequence might be different than your friends. And so we feel like parents really need to know that. Also in terms of attendance, which is one of our goals, to obviously improve attendance. A lot of parents will focus on those 10 unexcused absences, and we have focused on that. You can't go past 10 unexcused, but what we're finding is we will have students with 20 absences and they're all excused. So really trying to convey to parents that technically you are abiding by the law and you have not reached your 10 unexcused, but your child has missed 4 weeks of school. So really trying to push the importance of attendance, not just for legal purposes, but for academics. And so we're working on building some different opportunities to get that information out to parents and including our teachers in that. A goal for well-being, this just encompasses anything that we want to do with social emotional learning, physical safety of our campus. So we do have that goal in place so that to improve in those areas and also be able to use some of our funding for that. In terms of scheduling, we want to continue with our PLC process. We saw a lot of gains in that last year. We want to continue with that, as well as implementing common RTI time into our schedule. And so while Kevin was making a calendar, we were building RTI groups. So I just don't have a picture of it, but if you would like, I can provide one. Working with that to really build and start targeting students right away.
Now we know what the competition is.
And then our campus systems and culture, continuing with our PBIS and trying to strengthen that. A lot of our feedback from this past year with our survey from teachers was, I think our PBIS system was doing really well. There was another system we had that wasn't doing as well, so we decided to focus all our energy on PBIS and improve what was already working well and eliminate something that we weren't having a lot of success with. So, and as we listened to different people, and even Kevin had mentioned a goal that I thought was really good. So this is kind of a living document. So as we see a need, we can always add to this plan.
One of the key pieces of Central Success is the high level of engagement by all three administrators on campus. If you're looking for them, they're in planning with staff. And when Ms. Long and I have gone to visit, they're digging into the actual work that the students have done and looking at it in detail and making plans. I'm very hopeful that Ms. Williams' new model of pairing teachers in teams will be successful in second through fourth. And so there's some creative ideas that in her approach that will continue to move the campus in an even higher direction than an A with multiple distinctions. So. I thought Ms. Wallace wanted to go next, but okay. No, you can go. Welcome. All right.
Good evening. It is so nice to address y'all from this podium instead of that massive screen. I'm a normal size now, so that's nice. And the focus is not on my neck wrinkles, which I was traumatized about for weeks. So at the Early Learning Center, our goals are strategically aligned with student achievement in numeracy and literacy, family engagement, safety, and holistic development to ensure our youngest learners build a strong foundation, which is the purpose of the Early Learning Center. For student achievement in ELAR, we are committed to accelerating early literacy. By mid-year, at least 80% of our first graders will grow 3 DRA levels. By the end of the year, 80% of our kindergartners will grow 4 DRA levels. And by the end of the year, at least 65% of our pre-kindergartners will be on grade level in ELAR. For student achievement in math, we are sharpening our focus on early numeracy. Our aim is for 66% of our pre-K students to be on grade level in numeracy by the end of the year. Additionally, we'll continue teaching Bluebonnet with fidelity while also rolling out rapid assessments in kindergarten and first grade using TEKS-based tools. So there hasn't been a way to monitor numeracy from kindergarten to first grade, and so we're developing that. Worked with Ms. Long, talked with Dr. Sanchez, talked with Amy today on that work, and it will help us identify gaps early and improve instruction moving forward. For family and community engagement, we believe our families are essential partners. This year, we will establish consistent campus traditions and events to connect families to our mission, vision, and school community. To strengthen trust and transparency, we'll focus on clear and consistent communication with all stakeholders, aiming to increase engagement throughout the year via both digital and in-person platforms. Another focus we really had for the campus is the social emotional need of our students and making sure that they're successful in their relationships with their peers and how they're supposed to act in the classroom. So we've been working with our new PE coach because physical and emotional health are deeply connected. So we're enriching our PE activities and working with him to make sure they're learning activities in PE that then they can take to recess, and we'll purchase the same items so that they can take those activities out at recess. So they know how to play together and collaborate together. And they also don't just need playground equipment to do it. You know, we see a lot of those things that we played as children, and they don't know how to jump rope. They don't know how to hula hoop. They don't know how to do hopscotch. So really focusing on that. And we're also integrating our outdoor learning spaces. There's some really great spaces on that campus that we want to utilize. Our maker space in our library gardens, there's a nice outdoor courtyard there that we want to make sure students are going to when they're in specials and at recess, so that they're getting more movement and that increased time outdoors and that collaborative play. For student safety, safety remains a top priority. Our campus does look a little different. We have 696 littles on that campus, 6 and under. And so we are implementing structured procedures that include active monitoring, safety drills, door checks, traffic monitoring. We've had a lot of help with that. It's greatly appreciated. And increased supervision during all times on campus so that we make sure our youngest students are safe. And then lastly, to support behavior and emotional regulation, we are thankful to have our behavior specialist who will work with the campus administration to lead campus-wide professional development and behavior support implementation and provide in-class coaching. So helping teachers that need assistance as well to ensure that both staff and students are equipped with tools for positive behavior and emotional resilience. The goal is for our students to have the skills necessary to be successful in the school environment. We're also hoping that all of these goals greatly support our stellar elementary campuses as our bullpups move on to further years. Do you have any questions for me?
I got to spend the afternoon over there a little bit today. It's a lot of littles, and
Yeah.
y'all are doing a great job. It was really fun to see all the work that's gone into it. How on the recess, how much time are most of them getting? Is there multiple recesses, or how
Yes,
what's the
ma'am.
recess time?
We do have 2 recesses. So they have a recess that they go with their teachers, and that's a 15-minute recess. And then they all have a lunch recess as well. That's 20 minutes.
I think that's important for them. So like you
Yes,
said,
ma'am.
to get out. And
It was very important for us to
Learn
have
to
that
play.
second recess. Yes. And then all of our specials have an outdoor space. We made sure to make sure that each one of them had an outdoor space. So our PE program, they're able to go out on the north side of the campus. We moved some tables over by our library outdoor space so that she can take them outside when they're in library. And then our music and maker space are sharing that courtyard. And we're looking at ways to put some makerspace things out there that possibly could tie into CTE as well.
thank you.
Is there PLC's meetings for the little bitty ones? Or I'm assuming first grade has it. Is there?
All of them have PLCs,
They
yes,
all
ma'am.
do?
So
Okay.
we meet for PLCs every Wednesday with each of our teams, and that includes our specials teachers and our ECSD and CANS teachers as well. And during those PLCs, that's when we're looking at the data for our DRA levels, the rapid assessments for numeracy, as well as continuing to look at HMH and Bluebonnet and the module assessments that come with those.
I'd like for every principal to invite board members to come to those PLCs. You learn a lot just in sitting in the PLC on what the teacher does with the students and how they collaborate to get the students that aren't getting it in the classroom to what can they do different or what can they move forward in doing. When I was out with my training, I saw that and I saw how they did it out there, and I'd really love to see how Plainview does it.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think board members need to be invited just to come in and watch this process.
We have some outstanding POCs. It'd be great to have y'all attend, and I know the principals would love to have you see all of the hard work that goes into what it takes to be A campuses and B campuses, and
No pressure.
it's impressive. It's impressive.
Mhm.
So,
I would just, those numbers are staggering to me. 696 kids or 93 kids, whatever it was. That's a lot of littles. When we projected that campus, we're in the 400 or 500, maybe 400. So I would challenge the board and the administration to dig into the numbers, to get support, wherever we can to that campus. So I think it's a very important piece of it. So,
I second that.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'd like to come visit some of the classrooms,
We would
just
love-
because of the concerns that we've been hearing,
Mhm.
just to see what we can talk to Dr. Sanchez about. I mean, what
Yeah.
we, the board, do. I mean, the governing part, not to get into y'all's business and stuff, but
No, yes, ma'am. You're always welcome. Please come join us.
I just take hot coffee. That's all I need.
Needs-
All I need.
Stick around for after-school pickup with
Yeah,
Chief and I.
Amber went and was
Yes.
keeping us
Yeah.
updated. So
She
We're
she
gonna
got to
go-
see it. It runs well. It runs
Yeah.
well.
They're doing a great job.
The
Yeah,
staff
that's
are
a lot.
doing an amazing job. You know, they do a great job with the students. They are totally bought into the vision of making sure these students have those strong foundational skills and the positive interactions as their first interactions in a school environment. They're fantastic. But seeing the process, if you haven't done it before, which thankfully a lot of you have come out and supported us, it's very appreciated. But I encourage you to, because you really learn a lot about their patience and their dedication and watching them load all of those littles each day.
For sure.
very good.
are y'all jamming out there in the mornings like North?
Yes. I mean, yes, most days we have had a speaker. Wisty, Ellis, and I kind of swap out using our speaker out there, and we bought some bubble machines for the start of school, and we had some bubbles out there for them. We are still establishing our committees, and so I've been working. We've established a PTO. We also have a hospitality committee and a community involvement committee, amongst others. And so we're working with them also. We've already had conversations about how we're going to do different things at the start of the day to just, littles. You have some of them that jump out of the car and they're ready to go and they're walking on the paw prints and they're excited. And there are others, they just want to be home. And so if we can get them excited about coming in the building, they're always good when they get in the building. It's getting into the building. So we're already working on ways to get them excited and getting in the building. Our first round of committee meetings is actually Wednesday after school. We already did all the surveys with staff of what they felt like their strengths were and what committee they would like to serve on, and assigned everybody a committee. And then I had to bribe the ones to be the leaders of the committee. And so that's all established. And we'll start that Wednesday after school.
Very good.
And as Ms. Long and I were visiting the campus, one of our veteran teachers, Ms. Vega, stopped us and commented that she was happy to have all the first grade teachers on the same campus. And she spoke to the value of them all being there together. And that was some really good feedback from a veteran teacher who has taught for the district for well over 25 years.
Can you, not to put you on the spot, but can you go over those numbers real quick? How many pre-K classrooms, kindergarten, and first grade classrooms
ma'am.
are there?
We have 10 pre-K classrooms, 3 dual, 7 GE. We have 11 kindergarten classrooms. Also, 3 of those are for dual, the rest are GE. And then thankfully, we were just able to add a 12th first grade classroom. So we recommended a teacher for hire for that today. And I know Brandy was working on that. Thank you. So she will hopefully be able to start with us on Tuesday, and we're going to give her, 4 days to get to know the kids and the teachers and how we do things. But then we will have 12 first grade classrooms, 3 of which are dual and the rest are GE.
What's your average class size in first grade?
In first grade, once we add that new teacher, it'll be in our GE classrooms 22.
Does first graders have assistants?
No,
They-
we haven't had we haven't had assistants in first grade.
So you got one teacher running 24 students?
Yes, sir.
So no in first grade.
No, we haven't had pairs in first grade. But that was why we added the additional teacher to have 22, which is the class average by which we staff our campuses at the elementary level. We staff them up to 22.
I know it's early, but how's our kickers in first grade, kindergarten, pre-K?
How's
Do
our
we,
what?
our kickers, do you have a lot of these children that come in and kick, throw things, behavioral?
We
are you
currently
seeing?
have 1 to 2 per grade level, which if you think about how many classes you have,
Mhm.
I don't think is
It's not as
an
high end.
overwhelming amount, right? Knock on wood, hopefully we don't have more. But again, we have Kate McCandless and she's doing a great job and she works alongside us to support teachers with that. I mean, Mrs. Biggs and I, of course, are the main support, but we do have her to go in and do observations and coaching. And then if we see really big behaviors, Mrs. Biggs and I can step in and help. But we have not had a lot.
Not a big amount. Dr. Son, I was gonna say Dr. K, that's my doctor, our psychiatrist that I work with. But Dr. Sanchez keeps us updated on the ones, one or two that do pop
Tend to
up,
be a
but
bit more challenging.
those are the ones that we hear. We don't hear about the other ones, how many more challenging ones there are.
And we're really hoping we can support them so that when they leave our campus, they do have success in elementary school. It's a balance between that and also making sure teachers feel supported in the classroom and they're able to give instruction to all of the students in that classroom.
How do your teachers, your first grade teachers feel about losing two students? I know, I'm just asking because I know they get attached. I mean, they've been, what, 2 weeks? Is it the second week of, third week of school? And they get attached pretty quick with the babies.
I did go speak with them today once we had we recommended for hire, and I will say they just seem very happy and felt very supported that they're getting those class sizes down. There was no mention, it's not that they want to lose those students. They don't. They're still going to see them all the time. They'll still be in the same hallway. But they know that, if they have smaller groups for guided reading, if we're talking about literacy and that being our goal, they have those smaller groups. They know they're going to be more successful. So they are excited about that. We're thankful that we were able to find somebody that's a good fit for that position this early in the year, because it definitely gets harder as you develop those relationships. It's one of the hardest things about being a teacher, I think, when you see your kids leave at the end of the year and you've developed those relationships for so long. So, but they are very thankful to get those class sizes down.
Do you feel that'll help out for because I know, is it first grade that has to have the floor centers? Or is it?
We're
is it all grades?
doing daily 5 with kindergarten and first grade, which is a rotation of centers. They do it in both. Pre-K does do some centers and rotations. It looks a little bit different, but they all do. There was concern expressed at our previous board meeting about those kinder rooms, and Dr. Sanchez approved us purchasing tables for those rooms. We've already had the furniture representative come out. He walked the rooms with me. We've already picked the tables. They've been purchased. They're going to be shipped. We'll get those desks out of there, and that will give them a lot more space to move. I want to say that it gains them like 12 inches of space for each table that they put in there, and we're going to be putting 5 to 6 in each classroom. So you think about how much space that's giving you. It's quite a bit of space that you're getting back. In the first grade classrooms, we haven't had as much of a concern on space as where the kindergarten classrooms are located.
We did walk those classrooms and we took a look at them, and Ms. Wood will work with the teachers that, you guys know, some teachers have more stuff than other teachers. And so she's going to work with the teachers that have more stuff on how to strategically put that stuff. Then the other teachers had less stuff and their rooms work a little better. So the joys of being a principal. So she'll work with them.
Sorry, we didn't mean to.
No, I am
I'm
happy
hard.
to answer any
Thank
questions.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any others?
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Mrs. Wallace.
Good evening, everybody. So for North Elementary, I don't have a poster, but I did a side-by-side view to have what my goals were for last year, what they are this year. And I'm going to combine Goal 1 and Goal 2 because it is student achievement, but also I'm going to connect Goal 5 with providing professional learning opportunities for staff. And so with Goal 1, it focuses more on our reading. And so compared to last year, we are jumping a high percentage on the meets category as our aim and our goal, because we are working hard to achieve that A. And so like Ms. Williams and everybody was sharing about that, there's high approaches, but getting them to reach to the meets category, how are we going to do that? So there's where my MAPS PLCs comes in, which MAPS, remember, was like my modules assessment planning sessions. When we meet, is coming together, looking at that, and we've already started. Something different this year was the intervention time. So they have 30 minutes prior before they go to pullouts, and everybody's like hands-on. So if you have your pullout teachers, you have with me the summit, and then you have your para, which is your exceptional education, my special ed, going in to support the students. They're working with their students, but we started this week, this was week one, just trialing her to see how that goes, because I never had that built in. And so we focused on reading this week. And so we met during our PLCs, and then I split it up to where Tuesdays, I have for second grade, because they are self-contained, and then third and fourth departmentalized. So on Tuesdays, my third and fourth math meets, and on Thursday, my third and fourth reading meets. So we met today, and we were just breaking down this information, like how's everything going? So all of this falling into student achievement, those intentional conversations when you're in your PLCs, it's gonna be, it's very important. And just the work that it takes to get the groups and student group based on data, based on how do we know and what are you using? So it took a lot of work last week, like every day we were always meeting. I said, okay, let's try it and see. We're coming up with a different name because it's hard to say like RTI, intervention, acceleration. And so we're gonna probably call it the sunshine time, sunshine time, since we're North Star Shine Bright. And so we want it to be where it's positive, because it's not just, everyone's getting some type of help. So we're either enriching or we're intervening, one or the other. So that goes in with bringing up the student achievement and focusing on the needs category, talking about reading. And then for math, as you know, we struggled in the math area, so just increasing that in as well. We were like at the 25% combined with third and fourth math. I did a combined report on that. So we're looking at 40%. we're gonna try to work for that 40% in math. I do believe we have the right people in place, the right systems in place. And so we're gonna really be intentional about when we do our assessments, tracking that, and also like benchmark, we can look to see, did we get that 10% increase? So if not, like they said, this is a living document, and we could always adjust. Not going lower than what we had last year, but if we have to just do it in increments, we'll do that as well. But that is our end goal for math and reading. And I said I was connecting goal 5, providing ongoing professional learning opportunities for staff to deepen their understanding of the curriculum and the standards. So with my dual teachers, and we're bringing in our ESL, we have our first training with our consultant, with Dr. McGoody, and it's gonna be unpacking the standards. So if we can get them to learn how to do that in a deeper way, then we can expand that to the other teachers as well, working together during our MAPS PLC. One of the things that I wanted to do, because when we do our PLCs, is during their conference time and the kids are in pullouts, right? So I want to be able to meet with my pullout teachers as well, because they're helping, and to say like, how's this going, the intervention time, tell me what you think, what's your input? So my staff meetings will be different this year, as far as being more intentional, where I don't have to meet with everybody all the time. So it may be that like this upcoming week, it'll be with my pullout teachers and my summit teachers, and just having a PLC with them. But it'll have to be after school, because they're doing conference time, or, well, the teachers in conference, they're having classes with students. We have increased the number of students, combined, because we added, another class. So we have like 6 in each grade level, as far as for second, for third, and fourth. So they have a number of students, so I don't want to pull anybody out from that time. So we'll do that intentionally, as far as during a staff meeting. And I took that information from staff survey, that just wanting, having more time to meet with them. Last year, my goal was we wanted to meet with them and check in with them every 6 weeks. Y'all, it didn't happen. I will say it didn't happen. It happened. And so when I met with campus advisory, which includes a lot of my teachers, they were like, we can do beginning of the year, middle of the year, end of the year, you can break it down. I said, well, I want to meet with you more often. That's like, can we do like some staff meetings that just be us? I said, sure, let's try that out. So that's what we're going to do this year. Something different than it did last year. So that was goal 1, goal 2, goal 5. And we're going to still continue with our safety protocols, just ensuring the safety. We do the checks, we emphasize that through emails, and that will be with not only the door checks, just like, I'll still emphasize, we don't allow students to open the door, make sure it's an adult, I know we have got to get up, and it does take away from the time, so we're training the students. That's why the first 21 days is very important to practice those rules, procedures. That way they know that when it comes to guided reading time, when it comes to small group time, that, we're focused and working, they've gone to the restroom, whatnot. Some of the classrooms, since they're second grades taken from our kinder classrooms, have built-in restrooms already in the classroom. So that kind of helps out with that grade level as well. But definitely, if they have a health plan, we're gonna let them go. So I'm not saying that they're not gonna go, but it's just so we can maximize the instructional time. And so the job satisfaction, I think that goes with, like I said, mentioned, go forward, taking that survey and just being intentional with the staff surveys. That's what I included in there with us. And the professional development is just, even if I have to pull out some type of, okay, like say for instance, we're talking about the daily five, or, you know, like we're saying, we're chunking, like what are our expectations when we're walking in, looking at your lesson plans, looking at framing the lesson, you know, so the fundamental five. Now, well, what's fundamental five? So I did a presentation to them during one of their PLCs to say, what is the fundamental five? So we're chunking it, and so just training them as we go, and that's the PD that we're providing on the campus for the teachers. We're learning together. Parental involvement, I'm gonna switch it up this year. I did do Café Conmigos every month from 7:30. I stay a little late to 8:15 with them, but I just want to respect the time because a lot of them do have to go to work by 8. But also with the changes with several having children everywhere, so I'm moving it to after school. So we'll have it after school. We're gonna still continue with it. I'm having Café Conmigos. They asked you to do Café Conmigo, which is coffee conversations. I said, I may switch it to punch and pastries, popcorn and punch, something, but we're gonna come up with the title, but we will move it to after school to give parents and increase how many more can come, because several expressed they want to be there. I address attendance, I address discipline. We have conversations that, you know, that I can just, to keep them informed, because I want them to be informed, I want them to be involved. So we're gonna move those to the afternoon. So that's a change I'm gonna do this year with that. Goal 7 was technology. We do have the technology, so we're thankful for that. I always recommend it for our tutors at the time that we're coming in to have access to that. So now everybody on the campus has access to it. But now that everybody was helping, that way they have access to the student data to see how are the students performing, you know, the group that I'm working with, am I making a difference? So that's the goal that we're gonna do this year, just making sure that they stay informed as well. So I try to sum it up really quick. Any questions,
You missing the little bitty ones?
ma'am?
Are you missing the little bitty ones?
Wish you to be one.
Pre-K?
Oh,
Pre-K kids.
I already forgot.
No.
Miss Wood was
I
talking.
guess not.
Right?
No, like, it feels empty. It feels like really empty, but you know, because I'm used to seeing them going up and down the hallways, and I understand what she's saying, because after working with them, it does take time. It takes time to training and whatnot, so I applaud them. I told her, I sent her some messages, say, you're doing good. Like I said, we got this, praying for you, you know, but yes, our little ones, they're great, and I'm glad that they're POCing, because, you know, they are the foundation of everything, so. Right now, second grade on our campus is our foundation. It used to be pre-K, now it's second grade, so.
And I will point out, I mean, one of the key pieces of Miss Wallace's leadership style is, you guys know she was a literacy specialist, and that's her strength, but she doesn't shy away from working with math. And she asks the same good questions of the math teachers as she does the ELAR teachers. And you'll find her on the floor looking at data, working through lessons, looking at student artifacts, putting kids in different groups with the teachers for intervention, monitoring their progress, how they're moving, where they need to go next. And she's a partner in instruction with the teachers. And so many times when I would go to visit, and Miss Long and I would go to visit with Miss Wallace, she was there, we would find her, she was there working with teachers, and she was there with the data, with the instruction, with the lessons, and just another great leadership style. So I do want to acknowledge that she leads by example.
So team effort, team effort. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm happy to report to you from Plainview Intermediate. Of course, we have a total of 566 students enrolled, 240 in fifth grade, and then 276 in sixth grade. So our student achievement goals are goal 1, 2, and 3. And so one of the big pushes that we had on our master schedule this year is extra instructional minutes for deeper practice, intervention, and enrichment. So the math behind that is that in 24-25, our master schedule had 56 minutes in reading and 56 minutes in math. That
across 170 school days equaled about 158 hours of both math and reading intervention. Thankful to our district team who helped support a creation of a new master schedule. We now have 88 minutes daily in both math and in reading. So that equals to about 249 hours yearly for math and reading. So that's about 90 hours more across the school year, across the 170 days that our students are in school for both math and for reading. So that did lead to our more traditional middle school bell schedule this year. And so we're excited to show that off to our parents in a couple of weeks. We're going to have a parent night called A Day in the Life of the Bulldog. So parents will be able to travel their schedule with their students. And so they'll get to experience what their students experience on a daily basis, traveling from class to class. I know parents are very curious about that because we used to be kind of the bridge or the transition piece from the elementary school to the junior high. Our schedule was a little bit different. We didn't quite have the bell schedule in previous years, but that transition has gone really well. And both reading and math teachers have been very appreciative of the extra time that's been available to them. To do things like small group instruction. Teachers are gaining confidence in small group instruction, which is individualized support during that small group and extended time that allows for that. We're also using the LLI kits that you previously approved for purchase. And so we're putting those to use with that extended time, monitoring levels with that district provided resource. And so we do meet daily in PLCs as well. Our teams review data. They align the curriculum, create common assessments, and they do use periodic CFAs to check for understanding. And through those PLCs, we do encourage teachers to hear each other out, kind of role play. What would you say when you're teaching this to students? Hear each other's thinking during planning as well. So PLCs do lend itself to goal 4. That's on our campus improvement plan. We've had a lot of support as by our district leadership. So we're very grateful for the collaborative spirit that's been shown by Mrs. Long and Mr. Fitzgerald, our instructional coaches, Mrs. Sutton, Mrs. Sloan, and Mrs. Lewis. And then, of course, Mrs. Crosco, Mrs. Ramirez with special education, Dr. Mary Sanchez with language acquisition. Everyone has been wonderful about supporting every learner and every need along the way in this work. And so definitely all of our efforts are centered on helping our Bulldogs grow in reading and in math and beyond. As someone mentioned before me, this is a living document. And so we do have upcoming some diagnostics and some surveys through Region Service Center and through the Stronger Connections grant, which we are in year 3 of. And so those will help continue to refine our goals. And so we will update our campus improvement plan and then be back before you to present our targeted improvement plan as well later in the fall. And so, of course, our scores remind us of the urgency and importance of the work ahead, and we definitely have both the opportunity and the responsibility to change the story for our Bulldogs and improve instruction for them. And so we're very grateful to all teams, both district level and region level, to help us turn our urgency into action and then our action into results. Our other goals that we have, we do have our goal 5, which is about our safety and security. We also have a technology goal 6, and then we also have our goal 7, which that strengthens the relationship between home and school. And again, we have some exciting opportunities to make sure, such as our night with that's called A Day in Life of the Bulldog, to begin to introduce those systems to our families. What questions may I answer for you?
I think gaining the 88 minutes or math and reading and gaining 90 hours in that's going to make a big difference. When you think about that, I mean, time is valuable, so being able to do that. So I think that's a great deal. Look forward to seeing the improvements on that. So Very good.
How is that bell schedule working for the incoming fifth graders?
It was very new in the first few days, but they're very comfortable moving about the building. We made some adjustments for some students who needed some extra support. Our building looks a little bit different. We kind of color coded our hallways. We put some lines with painter's tape on the floor, put some arrows for direction, so that way they knew how traffic worked. Because previously, what we promoted to parents in the intermediate, as an intermediate in the first 3 years, was that teachers were still guiding them from class to class, because I know that transition just really makes parents nervous. And so, but kids are great. They're doing very well at transitioning back and forth. Our passing period is 3 minutes, and so it's actually shorter than when we were at junior high, but they're making it on time. We seldom have students who are tardy, and if we do, then we try to figure out what's going on to help make their transition a little faster.
You made mention 566 kids. What's your classroom sizes?
It's about 22 to 24. So we are full. We dropped a section in fifth grade. 2 years ago, we dropped a section in sixth grade. And so we actually have 2 teachers that are split. They teach 2 sections of sixth grade and then 1 section of fifth grade. And so we've been able to put the extra room to use and provide collaborative spaces for other teams in the building. We're now able to support a second language acquisition room where our emergent bilingual students are able to be serviced through our EB paras. We also have a storage room for all of our Bluebonnet and HMH materials. And so teachers are able to go and, find the appropriate materials. That's where the LLI kits are housed as well. So we have a little bit larger space to use for that, so teachers can comfortably find the materials that they need.
Very good.
There's quite a bit of work on structuring the extended time in reading and math. And so that's where the teaching and learning team is working with teachers on, you can't take a 50-minute lesson and extend it out, that there's an opportunity to pull intervention groups, because you guys know if you go stay after school, if you need tutoring, no one stays after school. So how do you work the tutoring into the schedule? And so that's the work that intermediate put into their schedule, is now you work the tutoring into the schedule in math and reading, the critical areas during the day. So you deliver instructions, students get to work, you pull your groups of students, close gaps, move them, pull the next group, close things out, move them to the next class. So that's the adjustment that teachers are making. Those who have taught at the elementary level, they get it, they've done it. Some of those who are more of a secondary middle school are having to learn it because it's new. It's new to them to have that much time, since most high school classes are between 45 and 55 minutes. So, be bold, Mr. Wallace, be bold.
Good evening. I'd like to present to you some information about Ash High School, not Ash program anymore, but Ash High School Campus Improvement Plan. Years past, we've been under PHS's umbrella due to the CCMR requirements implemented by the state, and it was impossible for Ash to obtain points in this category, which meant that TA could have taken over Ash. So that's why we went under PHS's umbrella, but there's another standard for AEA Alternative Campus that we're able to operate under. And so we'll start this year by focusing on 4 goals, but developing more as the year continues. So starting off, we're going to look at the graduation rate, attendance, and CCMR and discipline. We're going to focus on that. So with that, our theme or motto is, can we build it? Yes, we can. But the driving force is going to be to teach them, we must reach them. And I want to read something that was given to the teachers already. It says, "Dear teachers, thank you today. And I felt really welcomed, and I love how you all respected me and helped me when I needed it. I thought today was going to be bad, but you showed me that everything's okay. and that the compliments were very uplifting. Thank you. DAP, impact student. With that. And so what I realized is that everybody has that target that they're shooting for. But when it comes to the alternative, we still trying to hit that target, but we have to go a roundabout way by building that rapport to get to that target. But we have to build that rapport quickly to get to that target. So a lot of times we go a different route about making sure we have that rapport so that we can then focus on the academics in the alternative setting with that. And that's how we're able to have success with that. So one of the things we have is ASH will offer quality online instruction material, which will allow students to regain lost credits, complete House Bill 1416 requirement graduation projects, and TSI remediation. And we're going to do this through Apex, Edgenuity, face-to-face. So you have to remember at ASH, it's very unique. We have 9-week semester for all non-tested subjects, and then we have a traditional 18-week semester for the tested subject. So basically from August to January is 1 year, or August to December is 1 year. We start another year with that. Right now we have about 20 students right now that's going to graduate. Right now also we have about 64 students enrolled, which is the most we have ever had at this time. Usually we start off at 20 something. The goal is to get to 80. We usually max at 20 when it comes to the freshman, sophomore, because it's only one selection in that class focusing on the juniors and seniors because we really want to get them graduated with that. So the approach we're going to take is with students coming in, because we're now getting some freshmen that has not been in school since 7th grade. So how do we get the English 1 if we don't have an English 1 teacher? So what we're going to do is put them in Edgenuity with that. Edgenuity is one of the online programs that we use, but it has videos with it. They cannot fast forward through the videos with that. So with Apex at times, yes, you can get around by Googling answers and stuff like that. They have to watch the videos. We have, if you want to say worksheet stuff, they had to fill out to answer questions. Yes, they have failed it twice or something. Then the teacher will sit down. Did you take notes? With that, we have found success with in a DAP setting. So now we're going to implement it on the school of choice side also, and of course with our night school program also. So right now, again, we're at 63. We're trying to get to 80, but we have to have that wiggle room because you never know who's going to show up and want to come back into school, stuff like that. So we're doing that. Also with our night school program, last year we had 10. In the previous year, we had 10. Right now, we're at 15, and we have a waiting list. We have about 10 to 15 students trying to get into night school. With that, there's a waiting list with that. And usually we just focus at times, it says in our SIP, that we're going to use students who have not graduated from Plainview as of yet. But sometimes we get those that they went to school in Lubbock, but they're living here now and they just need a credit. If I'm not mistaken, we have a person coming to get they just need to get credits, and the test they took was tax. So they need about 4 courses, and then they're a graduate with that. So we're pushing that. Still have the night school on Monday and Tuesday from 5 to 8 p.m. with that. So we push that. One of the goals was attendance, focusing on that. Last year, our attendance rate was 70%. We struggled with attendance. We could not get them to come consistently with that. So this year, when we look at our attendance rate, right now, up to date, our 9th graders 95.6%, our 10th graders 93.4%, 11th graders 95.3%, 12th graders 95% since the beginning of the school year this year. So what we did was we noticed that one of the days it was 100% attendance. So we got today they celebrated with freezer pops and they were happy with that. We almost had it yesterday, but we had 1 student absent. So they're coming to school. It's about the rapport that the teachers are building with them. They're working and stuff like that. With this, ASH will increase the number of students who will reach the passing standard. Again, that's going to come through the face-to-face teaching. That's going to come through Edgenuity. One thing that many don't realize is when a student transfers from PHS to ASH, PHS, we have the 6 weeks. Ash, we operate on 9-week semesters. So we had to come up with a formula how to transfer a 6 weeks grade into a 9 weeks grade, but also have them make up work because you're going from 6 weeks to 9 weeks. So now we implemented Edgenuity with that. So whatever they miss, they have a course, we develop it, they do the work for that 3 weeks, wherever we went over, because after the 3 weeks, they cannot make up the work with that. Also, with the CCMR, we're trying to focus in on that. Right now, Ash has a 2-year grace period where we're just looking at accomplished meets masters. But after 2 years, they're going to focus in on the CCMR. We are not going to get points for welding. We're not going to get points for cosmetology and stuff. We're not going to get that. So we had to focus in on how can we build up TSI scores. But we have to remember who we're working with, because a lot of times they just want to get out in the world and work. And TSI said, hey, we're pushing you toward college. So we're trying to come up with ways to motivate them to really put effort into the testing, because they're like, I'm not going to college, but that's what we're focusing on also. Then also we said that with the discipline, we wanted to reduce the amount of discipline we had. We don't have a lot of impact placement. What we had was a lot of ISS, and a lot of it is because of tardies, because of badges. Well, the badges, we don't have to worry about that because they have to wear their badges now. It's been board approved with that. With the tardies, a lot of times they've been coming in like a minute late, so we've been working with them, giving them a little grace, because with the traffic, we found out that we'll work with the student. Sometimes that student had to drop off the brother here, the sister here, and the mother drop them off at work. So we don't want to penalize them, so we give them a little grace period. And we have seen that that has worked with the student, and the parents are very appreciative of that. We just call to verify that this is true, and then we work with them, give a little grace period. Again, that has cut down a lot of the discipline. Also, through the Stronger Grant connection, we have implemented a deal called Purposeful Talk. A lot of times when students go to ISS, as soon as they finish, they go right back into the classroom. What this is, it gives the teacher a chance to tell the student, this is what's going on. This is why you're getting in trouble. But we're also using David Luna to speak to the student also, because he lived the different life. So we're having purposeful conversation. What is the purpose of you doing this? What is your purpose of being here at Ash? What is your purpose in life? What do you want to do? Is what you're doing right now, is that really going to help you get to that goal you want? We're having purposeful conversations, especially with our young men. With the ladies, we're pushing them towards Miss Wiseman to work with them, but we're having those purposeful conversations, and they are taking hold of that. They're really listening to them and everything. So again, with all this, if you want to say roundabout way, if we get all that in place, the student will try, and then the scores will go up. I mean, we want the meets, we want the masters and everything else. But if the student's not at school, that will never happen. So that is what's going on at Ash at this time. Do you have any questions for me?
I would tell you that that attendance rate at 95% and better is a great start to what you have going on. So that's really good. Getting them there,
Yes.
right?
What is usually, you had mentioned some of these kids coming from, haven't been in school since 7th grade. What do you think's bringing them back at this point?
Sometimes what I tell them is this: $15, $20 an hour is a lot when you live at home.
Mhm.
But when you're on your own, that's not a lot of money. So a lot of them are realizing that they do not have the opportunity like they want without their high school diploma with that. So some of them are coming back because of that, because they realize they tried it out there and it's like, it's not working. So they're coming back, a lot of them with that. So I think that's a really big thing.
We've seen quite a few students from other districts try to get into Plainview ISD because of the opportunities that we offer from high academics, but also from dropout recovery. And Ms. Long and I look at every one of those that come in, and if they're close, I mean, I think we took a 19-year-old, one that's about to be 19 in a few months, and if they're close, we'll try to find an opportunity for them to graduate. It makes their life better and it makes the community they live in better because they have a foundation and there aren't other districts that offer this the way we do. And we try to find a way if the student and the family are truly committed. I mean, if they're just coming in because they want to hang out, we know who that is. But if they really want to graduate, there's a path. And Mr. Wallace and his team work hard to keep them on it. And it's a lot of shepherding.
Thank you.
Ms. Garcia?
Good evening. So Plainview Collegiate houses 291 students. We have set a goal to increase our percentage in meets and masters categories in all EOCs to 100% approaches, 70% meets, and 50% masters, which should be fairly easy for our students to meet. We're also focusing on to improve student success on TSI and ACT. We will implement intentional strategies and be content focused to increase those student performance on those assessments. As a school staff, we will work together to monitor and support student progress to meet behavioral, academic, and mental health needs. And also, we're taking a proactive approach for attendance. I've already made several phone calls to parents and letting them know that their students are tardy before they get to the 3 mark, before they have to even serve a D-Hall. Parents are really appreciating that. They're now being more aware of their students' attendance or lack of. So we are focusing on that to try to help in that area. We're also very grateful for the relationship that we've built with the high school and working hand in hand with them and being included with their PLCs. Our staff members go there, working with them. Of course, teaching and learning has been exceptional, and going to our campus and working with our teacher who has less than 5 years in the field, working hand in hand with that. Mr. Reagan and Mr. Capps have been very supportive as well and have been reaching out to me and offering any assistance. So I'm very appreciative of every aspect of our district. Dr. Mary Sanchez and her group have also been on our campus quite often this week as we are transitioning a non-English student to guide him and his family to make the best decisions for his academic success as well. So, any questions? Our plan is 16 pages long, so I just kind of grabbed a few points.
I'll tell you, when I went to visit with Ms. Garcia, she has their data on the wall in her office, and she has her targets that she just mentioned to you, and she's had conversations with the teachers who are in the STAR-tested grades as collegiate falls under the same number as PHS. When that accountability rating comes out, if we can stretch and reach those goals, and I believe they will, then that helps the entire district because the district's rating, 50% of it is based on secondary, and a large percentage of that is our high school kids, just because of the number, as well as CCMR. And under CCMR, of course, falls the academic performance of students taking dual credit and TSIA, which every student at collegiate by sophomore year has usually met their reading and their math and writing TSIA, which makes them eligible for college upon graduation. So, I mean, that's big stuff. That's big stuff. And kids graduate. This last class, we had kids graduating between 40 and 60 hours of college coursework completed. And so when they went to university study, they're ahead. They're ahead. And so that takes a lot of stress off, and a lot of stress on student loans, on parents, on everything else, because they're ahead and they know they can be successful in college. So it's a very good program. And Ms. Garcia is doing good work continuing the mantra of collegiate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
the high school, we have 6 goals this year. And I'll do as best as I can, as well as I can to stick to script, because if I don't, I'll start rambling and y'all will fall asleep, but we'll be good here. First goal, Plainview High School will increase the percentage of STAR EOC retesters achieving approaches or higher in English 1 and 2 and in Algebra 1 by 6 percentage points in December 2025 and again in April of 2026 compared to the December 24 and 25 percentages. I would start with this note on this. In December of 23, we had 242 retesters. And of that 242 total, 93 reached approaches or higher. That's 38%. At that year, that December, we had content-specific teachers doing classrooms. They took one class each of that. We were not able to do that last year because of personnel restrictions, but we fell drastically. And in December of 2024, that year, we had 168 total testers with 35 approaches or higher. So that was a drop from 38 down to 21%. This year, Dr. Sanchez has given us permission, and I think we're going to have strong improvement again. We have 8 sections of English face-to-face and 2 sections of Algebra 1 math remediation of 116 students. They are not content-specific teachers, but they were very capable. Coach Embry and Ms. Faulkner, who have worked with English before, and so we're expecting really good results. And we'll find out pretty quickly, but things are going well in that area. Goal 2, Plainview High School will continue to increase capacity in teacher planning, assessment development, and pedagogy in all STAR EOC content areas by providing content-specific professional development. English 1 and 2 have 10 scheduled days focused on planning, assessment development, and content presentation. Algebra 1, biology, and U.S. history will explore opportunities available from the Region 17 Service Center that are content specific. Of note, the 10 scheduled days for English 1 and 2 are with Dr. Shauna Rose, who serves on the state committee that creates STAR English EOCs. She provides valuable insight to our planning, assessment, building, and pedagogy in the English classroom. Another big note, and this is a great help, is all 5 EOC teams will benefit from the restoration of a dedicated teaching and learning administrator since the departure of Mr. Parker to the junior high in June of 23. So Aaron Capps has moved from 9th grade assistant principal to associate principal of teaching and learning, and he is doing a fantastic job. And are really focused right now on English 1 and 2 EOCs and Algebra 1. So they're not slow starting. They're off to a great start. And I believe it's because of Aaron. Taking Aaron's place is Mr. Gary Tipton, who has taken over as our new freshman assistant principal. So we're in good shape right there. Goal number 3, Plainview High School will increase the number of students receiving college, career, military readiness, CCMR, by 5% for the class of 2026 compared to the class of 2025. Student subgroups, including at-risk, emergent bilingual, migrant, and exceptional ed, will be monitored each quarter. Of note, a specific focus on students completing a program of study, which is 3 or more courses for 4 or more credits, and earning an aligned industry-based certification from the TEA approved list. Daniel Fitzgerald, who is our district CTE director, has helped our CTE department maximize our student industry-based certification efforts and has also expanded CTE principal classes at our junior high. So thanks to the work of Daniel with our CTE department, we were really feeling good about the progress we're going to make this year. And last year's was good, but we think that this year's will even be better. Goal 4, Plainview High School will continue to focus on refining campus attendance by monitoring and increasing the speed of reporting data to improve student performance, increase engagement, and build strong parental support. And I think a big issue with that, we've changed this year from late start Fridays, and this was initiated from the district office and Dr. Sanchez, to early release Fridays. So a lot of our problems last year with attendance, even though kids got to come late, they were still tardy. Matter of fact, first period was one of our worst periods for attendance. That will be resolved this year. Our kids are showing up. And on Fridays, it's early release at 3:35. And on Fridays, we do not have homeroom, but we still have 46-minute classes. And in the afternoon with the freshmen, they're 47-minute classes. So I really think that that's going to help us. Goal 5, Plainview High School will provide relevant and engaging learning opportunities for students to attain academic success and increase graduation rates. PHS will increase the on-time graduation rate to 98% by the end of the 25-26 school year through targeted supports, including but not limited to expanded access to college tours, scholarship guidance, academic interventions, and the expansion of our Elevate students curriculum to support our Tier 3 students who are at most risk of dropping out of high school. Goal 6, by May 26, PHS will strengthen meaningful engagement with families and students served under Title I, Title III, State Compensatory Education, Migrant Education, Title I, Part C, and other special populations by implementing meaningful capacity building events for our students and their families that promote academic achievement, language acquisition, and post-secondary readiness. Those are our goals, and before I forget to mention this, I would really like to thank the board for adopting our badge policy. It has been fantastic on our campus. Our kids are wearing their badges, and even our kids that don't want to wear their badges are wearing their badges. So that has gone over well. Our teachers are enforcing things at the threshold of their classrooms, and kids know you can't go anywhere for instruction without a badge, so that's been wonderful. And then I'd also like to thank Dr. Sanchez for moving us back into the area of Chromebooks in the classroom. Our teachers appreciate that. It will save money, but on a different note from what Kevin's campus does, it is mandatory for students to have a one-on-one Chromebook if they are in an AP class or a dual credit class. And so we really appreciate that help. Do y'all have any questions?
Mr. Reagan, what's the number at the high school? How many students do we have?
I think we're down 50 right
Okay.
now, 49. I
49.
mean, we're fluctuating, and of course, the numbers that we look at are combined with Susie's campus
Right,
too.
yeah,
So,
okay.
I mean, we're doing well.
okay,
And I hope that we have an increase in numbers too after Labor Day.
okay. And then final, how's the cell phone
Finals,
policy
are you
going?
talking about final exams?
No, how's cell phone policy going?
Cell phone policy, it's good.
Okay,
It really is. I think our kids understand. It's been better than I thought it would be. We know that they have them.
yeah,
But we don't go hunting in their backpack, but we do let them know, and they have had orientations, as every class did that first week of school,
good.
that if we see it or we hear it, we're gonna take it up.
Mhm.
And that's off to a good start too.
Yeah.
And I will mention on our finals policy, we have changed that, and this was a campus administration initiative. And we felt like in the past, we've had exemptions. And so we raised the exemption. I got with the PAC committee, which is my department heads, And so the old exemption was, it did not include freshmen. All freshmen take finals, but it did include sophomores, juniors, and seniors, with the primary focus being if you have an 80 or above as a semester average. Spoke with my PAC committee, our very first meeting this year, and I made a proposal to them about what we were thinking, and they added to it by saying, let's raise that number from 80 to 90. So a student, it's more college-like. To be able to have a finals exemption, you must have at least a 90 average in class for the semester. And there are other criteria too, that add to that as far as discipline and attendance that can take you out of that category. And the semester exams will be comprehensive in all areas.
That's a good goal. That's a high jump, but that's a good goal.
Will that include freshmen as well then, or not freshmen?
Pardon me?
Will that include freshmen as well, or
No,
still not freshmen?
all take
All take,
finals.
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Very good.
Oh, see, it's always fun working with Mr. Reagan because whenever he comes to see me, he's like the Godfather. He has an offer I can't refuse. So it's either that or he's a horse tradesman. What is it? A used horse tradesman. He's like, all right, I got this right here, and you really want this one? And by the time it's done, I have a blind horse with one leg shorter than the other, and I think I've won. So, but they do a good job over there, and academics are the priority this year, and you can hear it in the presentation. And we feel that with the addition of the intervention classes and the heavy focus with Mr. Reagan and Mr. Capps taking a look at English 1, English 2, algebra, getting into the ELC, PLCs, it's going to be a good year. So thank you, Mr. Reagan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I think that was our last, we'll just have the consensus agenda for our last business item.
We do have one more.
Oh.
We have the district
Oh, I-
improvement plan.
District improvement. Oh, we forgot that one. Okay.
And Megan loves to
Nearly-
present, so
I know, I nearly forgot.
Man, you
Megan.
thought you were
Sorry.
forgot about, man.
I won't be up here long, don't worry. Wayne, do you have the clicker? Do I have the, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so each district team leader will come up and they'll present on all of the goals. The DIP does have to be outlined for federal state requirements, so it can be lengthy in words. So this will be a very brief kind of breakthrough. So feel free to ask questions and go because they all have a plan. And I just wanted to point out that this is a kind of roadmap for the school. So this, what we have here, our district leader, it all trickles down. And as y'all just heard, our leaders do amazing jobs. They know their campus, they customize it to what they want. So this is kind of the broader plan for what they're doing. So with that, go White.
Oh, good evening. Our job is to support everybody's SIP that you just heard. So I think I need to go back and increase my start percentage after I've heard what their increases are. I didn't get to see those until tonight. So, but right now we're going to work on increasing that percentage it meets at our tested grade levels in reading, just like all of the campus did. With, of course, we're going to try to pay special attention to those special POPs, our at-risk, our EB, and our exceptional education students. Let's go from here. So we've got our performance objective. All of our students will receive high quality tier 1 instruction through a great curriculum from pre-kindergarten all the way to our senior students. And then here's just a brief summary of our strategies. We're going to provide student resources, curriculum for all of our teachers. We're going to provide teacher PD. We're going to keep going into PLC and monitor progress. We're going to up our walkthrough game and try to get in a lot of those this year with our principals and our admin team, our teaching and learning team, just to see what we all see and make sure that we're on the same page. We're going to continue to support teams in assessment creation, lesson planning, but then we'll go back in and analyze that data. Today, we sat in on one data conversation today, and we'll continue to do that. It's always a fun time, or I like it anyway. And then with our K-4, they're going to continue with that RLA framework. I'm sorry, I'm going to read that. It's a lot of words right there. Their language, our language arts literacy framework of word study, phonics, readers workshop, and writers workshop in those lower grade levels to really pump up our reading. That's our focus. Man, we're excited about the Early Learning Center and getting kids on grade level by first grade. So that's very exciting. Our second goal is for math, much the same. We're looking to increase that meets percentage. On STAR, about 3%, but again, everybody's gone higher, so maybe we should bump that up. We'll look at it tomorrow, since we can adjust these things. We've provided some curriculum, y'all know that, for our intermediate and junior high campuses for math, and we've adopted that curriculum. We're working through that. You know, it's a work in progress right now. It's a lot to get used to when you're not used to that Blue Bonnet curriculum. Again, it's about the same as our reading. We're going to provide that high quality tier 1 instruction to kids through manageable, viable, and rigorous scope and sequence aligned to our TEKS and pre-kindergarten guidelines. Much the same here. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. We hope to just get better. We're getting better at it every year. We're going to provide student resources and teacher PD. We're going to monitor progress through our walkthroughs and active participations in our PLC. We're going to ingest interventions and customize student plans. We're also going to provide students with qualified tutors. That also should go on the reading, and I'll add that tomorrow because we do provide those tutors for reading as well as math. I don't want y'all to think we did, and I need to add that. But if you've got any questions for me on reading and math, I'll be glad to answer those for you. But that's where we stand on reading and math.
When do your tutors start coming in?
For
When your
PLCs,
tutors, when
our tutors start. I wish Mary was here. Mary can answer that question better. Is she here?
just like,
Where's our tutors? She's way at the back. When are our tutors coming?
September, so we were waiting on funding. We were also taking a look to see for the principals to identify which tutors they would like to bring in. Some of the tutors we've actually hired on have as teachers because they're finishing up their degrees, and so which was a good thing. So we're looking at around September to open that up so that we can start earlier rather than later.
Our principals are really good at setting a plan for those tutors and getting those kids pulled like we need to intervene or accelerate. So they did a good job last year.
and every
We'll start that
campus is
pretty soon.
getting tutors.
Every campus, I believe, and well, I know, yes, I would say that, yeah. I'm trying to think of one that we don't provide tutors in, so yes, ma'am, we usually provide those. Some of our secondary campuses do that a little later in the year as we get closer to start prep. In our elementaries, that's kind of more of a year-long process, and so it's just a little different how we
Yeah, I
manage
figured
things.
they started later, but September sounds good.
So, anything else? You know, we're just all working. I mean, we've got our special ed department, Mary's department, my department, everybody just works together to make sure we're all going in the same direction. So it's a good team. It's a good team. We appreciate all the hard work the principals have done as well.
Do we get funding for tutors? Or is that out of our,
We do get some funding out of federal, and if you'll remember, there was the big fight over, is the federal money coming or is it not? So it did this year. So we have assurance that we have the federal dollars for this year. So we do cover tutors out of the title grants, predominantly Title I, but it's, I'll say this, I'll say this piece here, and I mean, we've had this conversation. Instruction in the classroom is the most important piece. The tutors are just for kids who come in with big gaps. And so our focus, and every principal who spoke, they understand that you can't become an A or a B campus by tutoring people to success. You become an A or B campus when everything that happens in the classroom is really good. And the few that need more, you use a limited number of tutors for them. So that way you don't become an intervention ISD. Instead, you're a ISD focused on instruction. And tier 1 instruction is classroom-based instruction. So that's where the emphasis is. Every principal here knows which students they need to begin working with. And in their schedules, in reading and math, they have identified students and time for that to occur. And the latest conversation with Sarah Ramirez in special education is taking a look at some of the inclusion teachers within the context of the classroom, working with students after the lesson is presented to make sure that they understand the lesson within the context of that time, that they're in that room providing support. So that's where the emphasis is, instead of pulling out to try to catch up, keeping them in and then supporting them there. And so, the icing on the cake is the tutoring instead of it being the entire thing.
Any other questions? Thank you.
I didn't realize I was next. Okay, I'll take these. Plainview ISD will focus on improving attendance by monitoring and reporting attendance data to maximize district funding. During our DLT, we will be presenting some reports, chronic absenteeism, just to see it as a team, to see what we can do to help each campus, increase their ADA. And we will also have incentives that we're, as you can hear, the campuses have incentives that they normally do. We do have a flag that we do fly for our elementaries. So that's been going on the past couple of years possibly. So we're going to continue those things.
Very good.
And so to increase attendance by the end of 2025-2026 school year, attendance percentages will be collected in the first 6 weeks as the baseline. Then monthly attendance reports will be used to track progress and reduce chronic absenteeism. Continually, Megan did a great job. It's right there. Continually review data to ensure accuracy in PEIMS. Progress, monitor, and encourage attendance with incentives and public acknowledgement. Okay.
It's also fair to mention, if you'll remember Chief De La Garza's presentation at last month's meeting on what PD is doing to help, what campuses are doing, that all rolls into that goal as well. And Doris pulled us all together to craft that process. So I want to give her credit for that.
Okay, good evening, board. Our goal for staff quality is the same it's been for the last several years. We've found some good results from a staff survey. So we'll continue to generate the staff feedback to help drive instructional improvement and promote teacher retention. And many of the results from the staff survey not only comes from the district staff survey, but also the campus staff survey. And you've heard a lot about some of our big takeaways from the staff survey from last school year that you've heard in the district, some of the campus improvement plans. So we will continue to do the staff survey. We're going to do the twice a year. We started that last year. We did a middle of the year and an end of the year. Kind of helped us have a feedback loop there. We did increase the window from about a 5-day window to about a 15-day window, and that seemed to help. Our percentages went from about a participation rate of about 60% from the beginning of the year or the middle of the year to 65% at the end of the year. And over the course of the 4 years that we've done that, it's gone from a 50% participation rate to 65%. So we've seen some improvement there. So again, the summary is we will use that middle of year and end of year staff feedback to drive our decisions, not only in our district improvement plan, but our campus improvement plan. And somewhat tied into it, but kind of a separate strategy, is we have designated federal funding to pay the salaries for some of our specialized staff. So like instructional coaches, our content specialists, some of our specialized support staff are paid with those federal funds. So that helps us retain those positions as well. Any questions? Okay.
Good evening, Board. We're going to continue with the school climate and safety and healthy goal. We had the opportunity to replace the 2 employees that went on to do better things. They will begin on Tuesday. We did find an LPCA, which will begin some counseling immediately because she'll get to use her license. We've contracted with Wayland to help us supervise with their supervision so they can accomplish that goal. We've also increased our Monday night support groups, which begin at 5 o'clock to 6, to reach more parents with the emotional and social support. A lot of times we don't get to meet with the parents during the day, so we have opened our time from 5 to 6 on Monday nights to offer that to parents because they need it and they don't know how to get it. So we've offered and opened that door this year again. We've offered those opportunities to on Tuesdays at Ash for DL Talks, where parents can come with their students to DL Talks so they can earn some incentives for the PBIS to get out of impact early. We've also implemented the health connecting with churches. If they meet with their guidance at church and they meet with some of their people there, we can get them credit for there. I had a Dean Kellum called me yesterday going, how are you adding the element of the spiritual world? A lot of them think that the spiritual world helps connect at home, school, and everything. So we went ahead and added that this year to give them the opportunity to let the church guide us and help us in that area. So he was surprised that we were letting some of that count towards their PBIS days. And like always, counseling, we have already started 2 weeks. We've had a caseload. Erica Espinoza is our LPCA, and she has a caseload building. We had 2 more come in last night. Staff members we are now extending to, so she's extended to staff members. They are coming in after hours and on Saturdays if they have to meet some of that time. And we're going to increase more resources and services. We've added David Luna to our staff full-time so he can have more small groups and more groups with the boys, because the boys look forward to David Luna at the junior high level. They really like that time. In fact, we're having to make adjustments because they want to stay the whole year. And the purpose of it is not to stay the whole year, but to build and grow. But they enjoy it so much that we're going to have to add more groups instead of, if they want more time, we're going to have to give them more time. So we're working with Kevin on that piece so that the numbers have been coming in, and we do have the numbers to keep David completely busy at junior high this year. And of course, he still goes to Ash, like I said, with the deal talks and things like that. Oh, is that it? That's all mine.
All right, so I won't spend a lot of time on this because our goal, you'll see, is the same as Mr. Reagan's goal, because in college, career, and military readiness, how the high school performs is how the district performs. And so our big focus this year is continuing to increase our percentage of students who get that college, career, military readiness indicator. I don't have specific percentages right now because, as you can see, CCMR, it actually lags a year behind. So our STAR scores that we got this spring count towards this year's accountability, but what's crazy is our CCMR scores that we got in the spring for the class of 2025 won't affect us until next year's accountability because they're still finalizing some numbers. So our goal is to increase it by 3% of kids who, and I believe we're going to be somewhere in the right now 87, 88%, which we're hoping to get ourselves to that A this past year. And so we want to get into the 90s by next year, where 90% of our students are leaving with that indicator, and then keep building on that. So our big focus there's 3 big focuses within college, career, military readiness that we want to focus on. Our first one is our CTE component. And within our CTE, we're really pushing our students to complete a program. And to complete a program, you have to take 3 or more courses for 4 credits before you leave high school, and get earning an aligned industry-based certification. The reason why you can take 3 classes to get 4 credits, because many of our junior and senior CT courses are double blocked. So our welding, our culinary, you can actually get 2 credits in one class right there. And so we're really focused on that. Last year, we're happy to report we had 422 earned industry-based certifications that are approved by the state. And so that was our CT department. Kudos to our kids and our teachers because they really did a great job. One thing we're excited about, thanks to you guys, is we're able to expand programs because of our facilities, because of our welding facilities, our greenhouse, our culinary. We've been able to expand even certification opportunities and students that are able to take those courses. I know this year we didn't have to do a wait list for welding because we were able to get the kids from last year that missed out on welding. We got them in as sophomores because of that expanded. It was about 40 kids. So that was fantastic due to y'all's expansion of that program. So thank you. The other thing we really want to focus on is our TSI, which our TSI is in our math and reading AccuPlacer. And so we want to make sure that we increase the scores in that. We're working with Miss Dickerson and Miss Crosco right now to expand our testing opportunities for both PCHS and PHS. One thing that has really helped us in this area is by adding our collegiate high school last year with that graduating class with all of those students pretty much having their TSI, that added another 80 or 90 students to our accountability. So the collegiate program has really helped our CCMR score. So we're very grateful because they've been able to bring the dual credit and the TSI components and really up our percentages. So that's helped us out a lot. And then we are also expanding at PHS this year. We've expanded the amount of dual credit classes we're adding. We've brought many classes back, and then we were also able to bring some AP classes back that will help us too with bringing Miss Steen and Miss Harrell back. So that's been a really fantastic move. And so we're just really expanding and offer more than pretty much anyone in our area. It's well-rounded opportunities.
They had
So
to sit out a year, so we had to, and then Mr. Reagan horse traded them back in.
So we're really, really excited. And then as you heard earlier, we were able to work with Mr. Parker and expand our CTE opportunities into our junior high. So we have about 70 or 80 kids that are now taking a CTE high school course as an 8th grader.
Wow.
So that's exciting because that's something that a lot of the schools, districts in our area are not offering. And so that's something that we offer that sets us apart. And then if you look up here, our strategies are we're going to continue to support our students as necessary to complete their program of study. I have counselors calling me all the time saying this kid's trying to change their schedule, and our counselors are doing a great job of telling them, you've got to stay in this class because this one really completes your program of study. You're going to get an industry-based certification, which is going to help you in the future. And then the kid goes, oh yeah, maybe I should stay in that course. And so they've done a great job of providing that guidance to them. And then progress monitor to support students in completing our IBCs. We do have a program that tracks our CCMR percentage throughout the year. This year, we're going to continue building on kind of what we started last year, where our counselors have some quarterly meetings to look at the data and then flag the kids who are not on track to complete, so we can get with the kid and the teachers and say, what's our plan to get this kid an indicator before they graduate, with our priority being seniors first and then juniors and then down. Continue to give students opportunities in our TSIA, and then increase our dual credit opportunities, which we talked about. And then as Mr. Wallace talked about, their campus now is in a unique instance where they get 2 years where CCMR will not count against them. So we're sitting down with him and looking at what can we do to help ASH students get IBC opportunity. They do offer BIM 1 and BIM 2. And so we're looking at how we can really help support them in getting that, so that when that 2 years does come up, we're ready to go and we're already excelling. So any questions for me?
We'd have something for y'all.
We have a little surprise.
This is a preview. We still have the voiceover, I think, to do on it, but this is beta version right here.
The students went ahead and made all these boots right here. They were welded up at another shop, brought over, and then they put them up. They made the tank racks to be within fire code so we can have our C25 CO2 tanks put up here for the manifold. All this has been put up by the students. All this is by the students. On the other side, the other shop, all the reels were welded up by the students as well.
Before this welding class, I didn't know anything about welding. I learned how to read blueprints, cut, and weld safely. I'll graduate with welding certifications that will lead me a job right away. This program has gave me nothing but confidence and an open door to a career I didn't think I'd have in high school.
We have one of the best welding facilities in West Texas. It's like a college level class, but it's in high school.
This program gives us brand new equipment and technology most students don't get until trade school.
I've joined the healthcare CNA program because I've always wanted to help people, and this class gives me real experience.
We practice taking vitals, caring for patients, and making them feel safe and respected. By the time I graduate, I'll be able to take my CNA certification exam and start working in healthcare.
In this culinary program, we don't just cook. We learn about foodborne illnesses. We learn how to handle equipment. And it's a good hands-on experience for kids who don't have a chance to do it outside of school.
After this program, I can go straight into the culinary workforce or into school with a huge head start, all thanks to this program. Without this program, I would not be able to go get the jobs I'm able to get or get into the culinary school and not perform as well as if I didn't have this program. So I'm very grateful for being able to get the opportunity to learn these skills and learn how to be a chef, sous chef, or anything else along those lines in the culinary world.
That's our beta version. We have a voiceover for it, but Danny's been traveling the district, putting all of this together, and some of the backdrop of this effort is Ms. Dickerson is working to get the paperwork for a P-TECH, which is the brother or sister, if you will, of a early college high school. So we want to be sure we offer everything. And y'all support and the vision and input of the community, you can see it in all of those programs, CNA, welding, culinary. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff going on, a lot of investment, all into the kids, all in the community, all into the future. So it's good stuff. We just like the voiceover. Once we get the voiceover, then we'll launch it. Seen it dovetail right into communication.
Good evening, board. How are y'all tonight? So I'm in charge of communications, and we just did that video. But I do want to say I want to thank Josh Amador. He's brought my vision to life. We didn't have the equipment, and so I called him, and he gave us a great deal to help us. And we have several other videos that we are going to do. We are going to brag a little bit on our facilities that we have in athletics, and then we are also going to highlight North and Central, and then we're going to highlight junior high and what they have to offer in the CTU courses there too. So we do have a plan in place, and unfortunately I did get ill this week, so we had to kind of pause it a little bit, but hopefully this upcoming week we'll be able to get back started. It'll be fun too because it'll be homecoming week, so you'll see a lot of excitement with the students and stuff and interaction. So with Plainview ISD, we're actively engaged with families and community through effective communication, collaboration, strong relationships, aiming for engagement by the end of the school year. And then our performance objective is to enhance the communication with parents, staff by providing clear and timely and positive messaging, aiming to increase positive engagement through either survey responses, attendance of district events, and direct feedback by the end of the school year. I've been actively talking to parents and asking what they love about PISD and just highlighting the excitement and what their students are engaging and what they're learning and what they love about our district too. And then our strategies, I think some of my strategies are missing on here, but we're going to strengthen communication, highlight success, and collaborate with community. And we did create, every year we create a calendar. I created a calendar that we pass out to the districts. And for back to school night, the schools will have more of it. And we were able to implement everything that we've done in the district so far too. So parents can see down the line of, you continue with PISD. We have great things at junior high. We have great things at the high school. So our district is evolving every single day. So do you have any questions?
I was just going to say, I think a lot of people have overlooked the app as well, because just in these first 3 weeks, I've had people say, where can I find this? Where is this document? And it really is all on the app. You've done a great job.
Thank you.
And so if you don't have that app, you need to get it because it has a lot available. It's really convenient.
If you want our app, it's on the Plainview ISD website. Scroll down to the bottom. If you have Google Play, you can click on it. And if you have Apple, you can click on it there too. And it's right there. And you can sign up for the notifications of what campuses you want notifications of. Our dining's on there. The events calendar is on there. And if you want full PISD, you can sign up for all the notifications and you'll get them on your phone too, as well as text messages as well too.
We'll be finished like in 3 seconds. Okay. Hello, board, Dr. Sanchez. I will be covering Goal 8, which is family and community engagement. In front of you, you will see a document titled Title I Parent Engagement Activities. And I just wanted to begin by applauding our campuses. We had a total of 415 activities held on the campuses, which averaged around 51 activities on each particular campus. Around 6 years ago, the board had set a goal of at least 25% of all of the district activities had to be academically focused. And we have 42% of our activities are academically focused. Our goal will be to strengthen family and community connections through educational opportunities that cultivate a nurturing environment, enabling students to thrive academically, physically, socially, and emotionally, and increase participation opportunities by 3% within the school year. So we're looking at increasing our 415 activities. Our performance objective is to offer educational and relationship building opportunities for school and community stakeholders.
Our strategies in order to achieve this goal will be engagement and resource meeting opportunities by collaborating with other district departments such as GT, language acquisition, exceptional education, MTSS, and migrant. We're doing so by providing MTSS community fairs, setting up at school events. Our family engagement office went and set up at the intermediate event that they had. Strategy 2 would be to promote life skills and good decision-making by coordinating events aimed at promoting life skills and good decision-making for all students. Examples of that would be in Plainview, working with resource fairs, the back to school event that we worked with the community on helping develop, and also our weekly MTSS meetings to help parents and students in that particular area. Strategy 3 would be to provide opportunities in education on postgraduate paths. We are providing our students with college visits. We've taken students to UTI, to WT, in order to help participate in the camp activities that they have there. We take a look at the universities that the students are interested in, and then also the availability of funding in order to provide that opportunity for students. Any questions?
Back to school. When we did the food drive in the backpack, we served 452 families with backpacks, food, and hygiene through the community. It started in August. We were very proud of the 452, and we still had backpacks left to this week continue pass out at school. So we are very proud. We're going to continue that next year. We hope that the kids do not have to wait in line. They would just show up to the school and the supplies will be in the classroom instead of them waiting at the Bulldog Stadium next year. That's our goal for next year.
And we want to give a big shout out to the Plainview Education Foundation for their support for family engagement. Because of their support for family engagement, you take that along with the Gene Pass, and that has provided us the opportunity to support a lot of families in need. So again, I want to acknowledge them as well.
All right. Good evening, board. My goal is to assess our district instructional technology software, and we are basically looking to see if it's being utilized and function. We work with Ms. Long and her department throughout the year and go to her and say, hey, this is what I'm seeing. Is this something that we need to continue to use next year? Part of our other goal is to strengthen our information security-based tools, which is our cybersecurity stance. That is, we had a deal that we moved it to the next board meeting, that if we approve that, it will greatly help us. We got approved on our E-rate side for, it's like $174,000 worth of cybersecurity funding. So moving on to our performance objective, we do quite a few different little things. We do phishing tests throughout the year, and we also do cybersecurity training that goes into our strategies and stuff. On our phishing tests, the industry average is people click about 14%. So last year I was looking at our stuff from last year and all of that. We had the first test that I put out was a 12% click rate. By the end of the year, we averaged about a little under 8%. It was like 7.64, somewhere along in there, which is relatively good. The month of May was astounding, by the way, but I think it was more of nobody had time to read their email. It was like 2%.
At the end of the year.
If we could stay at 2%, I will be happy, because I go to bed at night worrying about who's going to click on that next link. Part of that, we send out training every year to all of our employees. It's about 30 minutes worth of training, and we'll discuss that next week at SLT, what I want to do on some of that. But like last year, I sent it out to 630 employees. We had 580 that completed it. This year, I'm going to try to increase that number a little bit as we go. The other thing this year, the software program that we use for our phishing test has improved some of the stuff where it's easier for me to schedule training for those people that click on the link. So now there's going to be a little bit of teeth to that, so to speak. So when they click on that link, they'll have another 15 minutes of cybersecurity training. So moving on to strategy 3, to ensure that we have equitable technology in the classrooms and stuff, we have a goal to replace 500 Chromebooks a year. Last year, we fell a little short. We purchased 100 Chromebooks for the PCHS students coming in, and then we purchased 155 Chromebooks for the high school at that point. So We got about 255. With everybody going to the classroom sets, it's taking more Chromebooks to function in the building than what it does with the one-to-one initiative. So the high school currently has somewhere around 2,000 Chromebooks. We only have 1,200 kids. But we had to make room for a class that has 30 and a class that has 5 on the next class period. So, any questions? Thank you, board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I will mention that it is very rare for principals to present their campus improvement plans. Most districts just ask the board to hear and review the district improvement plan. But it's important that we're all literally on the same page with each of these areas. And so that's why in this district, you hear from the principals what the campus improvement plan is, and then you see from district staff what the district improvement plan is for there to be alignment. And as you note, they all align with the core beliefs and core commitments that are set by the board. So you have the board that sets the core beliefs, core commitments, the district improvement plan, the campus improvement plan, so that there's alignment throughout. So I'll ask if the board will please consider for item 5 and 6, consider and approve the campus improvement plans and the district improvement plan.
Board, any more questions, comments? I know there was a lot of information. We appreciate that. I appreciate the reports that y'all gave us. It's good to know what's going on in our district through these improvement plans.
Very much.
Not entertain motion for item 5 and 6.
I move we approve the campus improvement plans. Do we need to do those separately, probably?
Y'all can do them together. It'll be
The-
fine.
The campus improvement plan and the district improvement plan.
Got a motion from Ms. Bass. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second, Mr. Salazar. In favor, raise your hand. 6, so thank you for 5 and 6.
All right, finally, we have the consensus agenda from our last meeting.
Were any questions, comments pertaining to the business item? Number, what is it, Father? 6.
Recommend the consensus agenda for the board's consideration and approval as presented.
Okay. I hear a motion for the business item consensus agenda to be approved.
So move.
You got a motion by Mr. Salazar. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Ray. All in favor, raise your hand. 6, so thank you.
And if the board will indulge in executive session on personnel matter.
Okay.
Real quickly, can I do a plug for you mentioned the Education Foundation, that's coming up, the gala, September 27th. Make sure that you get your tickets table. If you're interested in going, reach out to Danny or I, or both sit on it. There's several of us working, and we can get you a table, get you tickets, whatever you need. September 27th, it's going to be a good time.
Be there. I'm good.
All right, everybody can go home, except for the administrators that I need for executive session.
Okay, it is 8:35, and we will go into closed session on the Texas Governing Code, Section 551.